Good morning, love. Did you enjoy that little clip? I'm telling ya. They've got some great platitudes. That, and honestly, they're the only person who can ever say shit like that, and it will actually resonate with. And that's why we are where we are. And why I got dealt a little lesson yesterday with that, because here I am trying to block them out and be like, I can do this, I got it. And universe is like, yeah, no, you're in this together, and gave them a spotlight. So joke's on me. Heard. And with that, another thing that I was apparently trying to run from or slide away and not do was counterpart readings. But guess what? I said what I said, and the universe is going to hold me to it. So we're in this now. So these are all of my personally channeled decks that are a series called Divine Energies, and in conjunction with the project that I'm doing with Adam and the potential for some other things we want to do with that idea was counterpart readings. But guess what? Joke's on me, because I said what I said, and the universe is going to hold me to it, and we're in this now. We are in this now. So I've got to be the oracle, and whether it's me speaking or channeling my divine masculine, or apparently sharing their clips now, we're doing this. And these are all of the decks that I have written, and a big project that I'm going to be stepping into, other than the one that I'm working on with Adam, and the project that the universe is about to shove us full force into, is taking the time to actually materialize these decks. I've only ever had one made up because it's hella expensive. It's like $30 a deck to get them made up. So it's gonna be a big project. And part of that is I'm gonna have to start focusing on using these either as counterpart readings, higher self readings, and probably take some time to go through and really divide out those messages so that I can create a couple different materialized decks. And I already see the universe about to deal me another lesson, because I'm going to have to create artwork for these, probably just back cover art, not like a full deck of different pictures. I'm going to bite my tongue on that, because as soon as I say that, they're actually going to throw me into something bigger, but we don't have time for that, because I have a project with Adam we got to do first, and that's going to be a whole thing, and I'm excited for that. Anyway, I can already see the universe about to be like, put me up to that test again that I had to go through last week when I had to ask my divine masculine to be a part of the project. So I very much see that I'm going to be dealt the same lesson repeatedly here, and until either I learn or something materializes, or I don't know. I'm just along for the ride at this point. I digress. My point is, we are going to be using my channel decks a lot more in conjunction with tarot as I move forward into expanding on this project and telling the story that me and Adam are currently working on, and then the projects that we are manifesting. So there's that. Alright, so let's kind of knock this one out before I run out of time. What is currently being mirrored between you and your counterpart? So this can be your partner, your soulmate, it could be your higher self, or your the energies between yourself, like your masculine, feminine energies and the dialogue that they're having internally. This could be you and your twin flame, like however it's resonating for you, we're going to look at the mirroring energy. So what is currently the mirroring energy? All right. All of me is here now. How are you even real? You really woke me up. Heard? So there is this overwhelming theme of that internal unity. And it's from that internal unity that things really do start picking up and manifestations, and life just goes on its whole alignment journey. Like, things dramatically shift once that internal balance, that internal unity is achieved. And that mirroring, both within you and your partnership, or you and your life outside of yourself, that mirroring becomes just so evident, because the energy has to be mirrored in order for things to move forward, right? And if they're not, if that's out of alignment, then you're going to be dealt lessons and different things to help you shift back to that alignment. So it looks like it's in some way, shape, or form that unity, that alignment has been achieved, and it's being at that point of like, how did we even get here? Like, it makes no sense, because it feels like everything has just been so chaotic. That process of getting here has just been so chaotic that you don't quite trust it. And it's bringing this reflective energy of, in this, you really woke me up. Even driving to drop Cass off at school, I had this channel about how awareness and being awakened are not the same thing. You can be aware of your patterns and all of those things, but until you truly awaken and you have that light and you are put in that space of, it is so uncomfortable to continue like this, I cannot continue to ignore this, that you are not going to take those actions. So you can be aware of all your problems and all your shit, and that things are not where they're supposed to be. But until you get to that point where that awareness really hits and you get so uncomfortable within yourself that you actually take that action, that you're not going to see those alignments. You're not really going to be in that state of being awake and seeing those positive changes and shifts for you, where you no longer want to be that person. And this is evidently the mirroring energy here, because you have sparked that within each other, and from that it's pushing things forward in some type of way, and we'll get into that once I get to tear out. I'm gonna get 2 or 3 more. Jeez. Standing up for myself. So in this, you've been able to develop stronger, healthy boundaries with yourself and others, and likely in this connection. It meant nothing. It was just addictions. It's always been you. So those patterns and things, you have that awareness that it was just a cycle that you were feeding into, and that the truth of things is just, it's so undeniable, even amidst the self-sabotaging behaviors, addictions, and things that brought to the connection in a space of, trauma, disempowerment, and just how we react and respond to life from those places of hurt. That is what's kind of been illuminated here. But that truth of your role in each other's lives has been like a beacon. It's been something that's so undeniable, that that's what's kind of shed the light on everything and really pushed this process forward, and had you learning those hard lessons and to wake you up, so that you could see how you were showing up in your life, for yourself, in this partnership, just all of the things. And evidently what has transpired between you and this person has allowed for those healthy boundaries and habits and different things to form, so that you can be more solid within yourself, because we're seeing this, all of me is here now. So not only is it that awareness and the action, it's actually being awake and taking the necessary steps to not only course correct and clean up what has happened and address, the shadows and the trauma and all of that, but also to be in this space of reclaiming who you are and creating the life that you really do want for yourself. And that's beautiful. All right. So let's get some clarification with the tarot. Jumping all around here. I'm sure that's entertaining. Anyway, tell me more about this. You really woke me up. Eight of Inspiration. So this was something that came in with a very swift energy and shook things up. And I'm hearing that this isn't something that you're going to hear from me. This is something that they have to come and tell you themselves. And it looks like they're coming in with that rapid energy and that very directness of what that is, how it is that you kind of shook things up for them, good, bad, or indifferent, and really woke them up to what was going on in their life and how it was that you helped them course correct, or maybe it's you that needs to come forward and share that, because within that dialogue there's going to be more that comes to light in a sense of understanding and perspective that you don't currently have, that is going to help you shift into a new energy and to be able to take the appropriate steps forward for yourself. Let's see. Tell me more about this addiction energy. Tell me more about this addiction energy. I swear to God, if the devil comes out. 7 of Inspiration. So, it was this illusion type energy where there was a sense of self-defeat and not being in control and just being victim to patterns and having to really shed a light on what those was and to have the strength and to stand up for themselves against their ego kind of a thing, and really find it within themselves to course correct, to find that alignment, to have that understanding of the why they were doing what they were doing and why it was making them feel disempowered, and really have that inner strength. Again, I'm gonna go balls to the wall with my whole expose on the strength card, but that energy had to be found within. It had to come from a place of deep inner power and knowing. There was no other way out of it. No external energy was going to be able to really make a change that needed to happen. It had to come from within, and it was a very hard process for them, and likely for you as well, to overcome this. And it's from that strength and that knowing and that process that you are going to be able to really stand up and step forward into a new season of life from that place of personal power. I told you it was coming. Devil card reversed. Those patterns have been primarily overcome. I mean, those things are always going to have a kind of residual energy, and we're going to keep being tested, but the bulk of it has been overcome. That deeper understanding and awareness and being aware of what those patterns are, which is something I talk about so much. If you want the sheet, let me know. That cycle of sabotage and what's triggered, why it's triggered, all of those things, having that awareness, having that knowledge really puts the power back in your hands. And then you're able to develop healthier patterns, healthier coping mechanisms. You're able to forgive where you need to forgive and have grace, and whatever it is that you're called to work through and have that understanding on that personal level, that energy is very heavily being mirrored whatever that degree of self-sabotage is, and how you've been showing up, and how those self-sabotaging patterns have affected the connection, all of that is very aware, and all of it has been worked through, and there is a conversation coming in about this. Tell me more about what's happening. 8 of Materials. The work that you've put in, both on yourself and into this connection, it has like a purpose. You haven't lost anything. I have the sense that you feel you've lost out on something just because there's been a lot of things that have had to be worked through. But what you have invested into yourself and into this connection is not something that you're losing. It is going to be utilized in some way, shape, or form to help you either move forward and expand in this connection, or take that energy and that awareness and continue to make changes in your life that allow you to be the best of yourself, that allows you to put the best of yourself out into the world, and to serve in however it is that you're called to serve, whether it's passion or purpose or destiny in some way, shape, or form. Like, whatever that is for you, this entire experience and what you've had to go through on the personal level as well as the relational has created such a strong foundation for you and allowed you to create really strong, healthy boundaries that are going to be needed for whatever it is that you're stepping up into, right? Because every time we go through things and we level up, it's because, there's a bigger, stronger force that is going to be coming at us, and we needed that strength, we needed that knowledge in order to step into that new challenge. And I think that this is something that we just truly don't fully see or value, is what happens in that leveling up, right? Whatever it is that you're manifesting, whatever it is that you want, you need to be fully prepared for it, right? You're not going to be given something if you are continuing to self-sabotage and destroy it, because it's just not going to be able to materialize, and you're going to have to cycle through those karmic lessons until you learn and you can have that internal strength and be steady and be steadfast and hold the space for that manifestation. And that's what's happened, is you had to go through those cycles, you had to learn those lessons, you had to overcome these addictive tendencies and the self-sabotaging in order to be ready, in order to be prepared and solid and steady. What is coming in for you? Yeah. Sun card. The whole shebang is shebanging. Your ultimate happiness, the thing that you have been working a lifetime towards. Because all of those things needed to be worked through on a personal level, on a relational level. You really had to come back to a sense of self and back to heart and soul in order for you to be in the space to be able to step into and materialize that deepest dream. Even if it looks different than the initial way that you thought it would, the resonance of it is just so strong that it's been undeniable. Like this, it's always been you energy. Like, the truth of who you are, what you're meant to do, is going to shine through even in the darkest of days, right? There is no way to fully block out the soul. The ego can try as hard as it will, but at the end of the day, the soul is so steadfast that it is willing to wait out and go through this entire process time and again, because it knows that from those lessons, it continues to grow and expand, and everything that is truly in alignment with the soul's resonance will eventually materialize, right? And I shared that beautiful post from Zelda Sage. And that is just the overwhelming energy here. What can you expect? The moon. So now we have counterpart energy here with the sun and the moon. Sun being masculine, moon being feminine. The unexpected is the illumination of the shadows, their purpose, and how all of those interworkings have led itself straight to a path that was always there waiting for you. The intuitive knowing that was so deep inside of you was undeniable, and it was always leading you to where you were meant to be this entire time, even if you don't see it or feel it. It is just a undeniable truth about who you are and what is meant for you. Some guidance or advice. Page of Voices and the Magician. So you need to speak out loud and communicate what it is that you seek to build, to manifest, what it is that you see and want for yourself. It's the whole closed mouths don't get fed. Unless you express what it is that you want, how it is that you want it to happen, like whatever that is, expressing that part of yourself from a place of personal power and being okay with walking away if, it's not reciprocated, and really standing up for yourself and having those boundaries. Like, it's not gonna materialize the way that you may want it to. You need to let go of how it's coming about, but you need to communicate what it is that you want for yourself and stand firm in it. And it is truly from that place that you are able to say yes or no in a very powerful way of, yes, this aligns with me, this matches my values, beliefs, whatever of what I want, how I want this to come about. Yes, it's on the same page. Yes, we can move forward. Or no, something is misaligned here and I don't want to move forward. I'm going to continue working on this in my own space until that aligned opportunity, mirrored energy comes about. And you have to be so sure of who you are and what you want to stand firm in that energy and to not accept less just because it checks off a few of the boxes and not a lot of the boxes. I said that in my last reading. If you didn't catch it, go back. But that's the thing, is you have to have all of the pieces if you want things to materialize in a very aligned and abundant way. And people are often not willing to be patient and wait for those alignments. They'll just take and grab whatever they want, which feels much like the self-sabotaging addiction energy that's floating around here. Is like you've been so willing to accept less, and I'm calling myself out on this here too. You've been so willing to accept less just because some of it looks like what you want or need. And you're like, I can make up the difference, right? Like, but the thing is, that's not alignment. And while there's a space where you have to have healthy spaces of compromise and see where that ego is pushing too far, and that can be so hard to see sometimes, but you have to know and clearly define yourself what those are for you. Is it minor little details that you can let go of, or is it something deeper that the core of you, it doesn't feel aligned? And a really great example of this is this project with Adam. I expressed what I wanted to do, and he has the same vision. And while I was fully prepared and ready to go about this on my own, I realized that not only do I not have to, but the way that I was going to approach it isn't the way that I need to approach it. It isn't something that I need to be able to bring this vision and this idea that I have to life. I don't need to be the core element to be able to tell these stories and to bring all of my own skill sets to tell the story and to create something truly magnificent, right? I don't need to be the star player in this to bring my co-creative energy into it, right? And that's what I mean by you really got to assess, like, what is worth the compromise? Is it a healthy space of compromise? Are you letting go of the egoic control, or are you not listening to the greater alignments of your values and boundaries? But it sounds like that you have a very clear sense of what those boundaries are for yourself, and you are standing firm in that, and that is very beautiful. And I'm very proud to see that you have overcome the majority of that energy, that darkness, that shadow, the addictive tendencies, self-sabotaging behavior, etc. So keep going, keep evaluating, keep realigning, keep asking yourself those tough questions about who, what, where, when, why you're showing up the way that you are. Make those adjustments, refinements, keep growing, and don't fear uncomfortable conversations, because even though they're uncomfortable, they bring truth, enlightenment, perspective, and it's from that knowing that you can make a clear decision about what is the right next step for you, if it's truly aligned, or if you can walk away in peace knowing that there is a greater misalignment, and there is a peace that comes in knowing that. All right, my alarm's going. I gotta go. You know where to find me if you want a personal reading or have comments, questions, concerns. I'll be around.